You ever meet someone so unnecessarily rude that you just know the universe owes them a lesson? About 20 years ago, one guy walked into a quiet billiards hall, treated everyone like background noise, and walked out thinking he'd won. 15 minutes later, police lights were flashing behind him. And the best part? He had absolutely no idea we were the reason. If you've ever dealt with someone arrogant, entitled, or just plain disrespectful, you're going to love this story. Hit like, subscribe, and settle in. Because tonight's story is proof that sometimes karma doesn't take years. Sometimes it takes a quarter, a pool table, and a group chat plan. This happened in the mid-2000s. Back when weekends meant cheap drinks, loud sports TVs, and hanging out somewhere that felt like a second home. For me and my friends, that place was a small billiards hall in a neighboring town. Nothing fancy. Dim lighting, the faint smell of chalk dust and beer, classic rock humming through worn-out speakers. You could rent tables by the hour or throw quarters down to claim next game. And that's what we did. Every week. We weren't loud, we weren't competitive sharks. Just friends unwinding after long work weeks. We'd shoot a few games, argue about sports, laugh about life. No drama. Until him. He walked in alone. Mid-30s, maybe. Confidence turned up just a little too high. The kind of guy who moved like every room automatically belonged to him. At first, nothing seemed off. He grabbed the table we'd been using earlier. No big deal. We were chatting anyway. 20 minutes passed. My friend leaned over politely and said, "Hey man, we've got next game." Simple, normal, how pool halls work. The guy barely looked up. He waved a hand dismissively, like shooing away a fly. No response. Just kept playing. We exchanged looks. Okay. Weird. But fine. Next game ends. We step closer again. I politely said, "Hey, we're up after this one." Another woman nearby added, "Yeah, I'm after them." Now it was clear. Multiple people waiting. And he ignored us. Not misunderstood. Ignored. Eyes forward, shots lined up, like we didn't exist. That small sting of disrespect started settling in my chest. You know that feeling? When someone treats you like you're invisible? Game after game went by. Every time someone approached, he brushed them off. No apology, no acknowledgement, just entitlement. The mood around the table shifted. People stopped smiling. Conversations turned quiet. He wasn't just hogging the table. He was dominating the atmosphere. Finally, he stepped away. Bathroom break. Our chance. We rushed forward, dropped quarters into the slot, and waited for the balls to roll out. Clack, clack, clack. Then silence. We counted. One missing. The green 6-ball. At first, we thought the machine jammed. Then realization hit all of us at once. He had taken it to the bathroom. Who does that? Who steals a pool ball just to prevent other people from playing? The absurdity almost made it funny. Almost. We told the manager. He sighed. The tired sigh of someone nearing closing time. It was already 12:30 a.m. Last call approaching. He didn't want confrontation, didn't want drama. So instead of kicking the guy out, he handed us a replacement ball. Problem solved, technically. But emotionally, not even close. Because now it wasn't just rude behavior. It felt intentional, petty, calculated. The guy came out of the bathroom, and he knew. He saw us playing, saw the missing ball replaced, and then he smirked. That that smug little smile, like he was proud of himself. He grabbed his beer, walked outside to the patio for a cigarette, and casually carried the stolen green ball with him. At that moment, irritation turned into something deeper. Not rage, not hatred, just a shared understanding among our group. This guy needed consequences. A few minutes later, he returned. Without saying a word, he tossed the ball onto our table. It slammed into the rack, scattering our setup. Game ruined. Beer in hand, he walked straight to the bar for last call. Didn't apologize, didn't acknowledge us. Just chaos and arrogance. I remember feeling heat crawl up my neck. Not because of the game, because of the disrespect. Some people walk through life convinced nobody will ever challenge them. And for a moment, we realized we might be the exception.
One of my friends leaned closer and whispered, "What if we follow him and report a drunk driver?" We all froze. It sounded ridiculous and brilliant. Not fake revenge, not confrontation, just letting authorities decide. 4 of us stood there. 3 nodded slowly. 1 stayed neutral. Decision made. This was before smartphones. We had Nextel push-to-talk phones. Walkie-talkies disguised as cell phones. When he left the bar, we moved. 1 friend followed at a distance. The rest of us coordinated calls. Heart pounding. Adrenaline buzzing. Each of us called highway patrol separately. Different voices, different phones, same report. Suspicious driver, swerving, almost hit another car, driving erratically. We gave details: license plate, vehicle color, make and model. The entire plan lasted less than 15 minutes. We didn't even know where he lived. We just knew he had to leave soon. And he did.
Our friend tailed him carefully. We waited, phones buzzing. Every passing minute felt longer. Did we go too far? Would anything even happen? Then, the call came. Our friend sounded breathless, almost laughing. "Guys, a cop just pulled between us! Lights are on! They're pulling him over!" Silence exploded into cheers. Adrenaline, shock, disbelief. It worked. We never saw the stop ourselves, but later that week, curiosity got the better of us. We checked the local police blotter, and there it was. A driver stopped after multiple reports of erratic driving. Arrested. Not for drunk driving. Something better. Driving on a suspended license. Meaning he wasn't supposed to be driving at all. All that arrogance, all that entitlement. And legally, he shouldn't even have been behind the wheel. The realization hit us slowly. We didn't frame an innocent man. We didn't exaggerate reality into existence. We simply shined a light on behavior that finally caught up to him. The guy who treated everyone like they didn't matter was suddenly forced to face consequences he couldn't ignore. No shouting match, no fight, no revenge speech, just flashing red and blue lights in his rearview mirror. And somewhere, I imagine that smirk disappeared. Because for once, he wasn't in control. Here's the thing about karma. Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes it takes years. But every once in a while, karma clocks in early for its shift. All it takes is treating people with basic respect. Because you never know when the strangers you dismiss become the witnesses who change your night forever. If this story made you smile, hit that like button and subscribe for more unbelievable revenge stories. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying instant karma moment you've ever seen? Because trust me, we've got plenty more stories where justice shows up right on time. See you in the next one.